the boy has begun to let y'all know. So you know what's going on right now. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and share something from Black social media. You know what I'm saying, where the weaklings reside. Okay, let's get to it, man. So what they're saying is, okay, so here we go. So we have Drake is under fire after Morgan Wallen brings him out. Morgan Wallen is known for being a racist and calling black people the hard R. Woo! So somebody writes, in what world did Drake think it was a good idea to associate himself with Morgan N-word Wallen? So, okay, okay. So we have someone who wrote Drake being buddy buddy. Let's check it out. Drake being buddy buddy with a white man who calls black people the hard ER makes a lot of sense actually. This is the same man who thought rapping like you're trying to free the slaves was an insult. Alright, first and foremost, let's get into that first bar. When you feign ignorance enough, you become a fucking idiot. Do you understand that, people? Now, when Kendrick is rapping, you understand the metaphors, you understand the jokes, you understand the attacks to the point where you have reconciled in yourself that it is perfectly fine to accuse someone of PDF filing, of touching kids, and you readily put the label on him. Why? Because you hate winners. I keep breaking this down because the Negroes who are watching this, whoever's watching this is what it is when you become number one. And if you're a winner in your own regard, if you keep it 100 with yourself, if you're real with yourself, you know what it's like for these niggas to hate on you. You know they hating on you. You know what's not normal. You try to wash it. You try to brush it off. These was on sale today. Nigga. Ghost? That's your name? Go. You owe me a check. Send it. Tried to CGI. I know dark skin niggas be single. Sensitive about shit. But, much respect and thank you very much. God bless you. Anywho, so they owe me a check, but I don't even know where to begin on this because on one hand, I want to talk about the contradictions, how much it doesn't make sense, and I don't think that black people understand how much. Okay, let's go over this concept real quick on my channel. There's such a thing as high vibrational behaviors and low vibrational behaviors, and I classify behaviors into these two categories to leave a map back to your higher self and to help you understand when it's time for self correction. There has to be certain fail safes that you put in your life, or you put into yourself. Pause, where you see, oh shit, you know what? I'm doing this. This is happening. For example, I have $1,000, right? Let's say I for whatever reason go on a shopping spree, spend more money than I need to spend. Then I go from 1,000 to 500. I still got bills due. I can make it. What do I have to do in order to not wind up spiraling out and this having a completely bad outcome? The fail safes or the safety alarms, whatever you want to call it, will kick in, and ultimately your survival instinct will kick in and say, "Oh, whoa, 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 something bad going to happen." So therefore, we're going to stop spending. So that's how I look at high vibrational behaviors and low vibrational behaviors. But as I've gotten older and I became a content creator, I realized I need something way more provocative and attention grabbing for y'all, especially for y'all watching. So we got broke ninja behavior, and we got I don't want to say rich ninja behavior, but let's for the sake of just moving the show forward, we want to say rich ninja behavior. Worrying about who's racist is a broke nigga's behavior. If the reason why it's a broke ninja behavior is because it's a waste of time. This is all based off of things that don't really matter and don't affect you. Don't get me wrong. I don't agree with or think that I don't like no one white around me. Or I mean, Latino a little bit different. You know what I'm saying, I grew up with Latino, so I don't have an issue with it. Honestly, I'm just not that hung up on the word. I'm just not. If I'm around you, I will more so. You can't address me like that. You can't say nigga in conversation with me. You know, if you're not like Latino or black. I mean, but I'm not First of all, I don't need to be outraged. I don't got time to be outraged. Gotta ask yourself, if you have time to be outraged, you are not productive. You are not productive enough. Matter of fact, that's why more successful people they don't get as easily offended. They're usually not as sensitive. Broke people or people who ain't going nowhere in life, you're very sensitive because the reason why you're not going nowhere is because you put too much stock into your emotions. You don't realize when something is subjective and objective. So it gets to where the lines of reality are blurred for you. You don't necessarily have a good grasp on reality. I think y'all realize that. When human beings have bad outcomes like that, it's because you don't have a good grasp on reality. All right, you have a hard time just deciphering what things mean. Perfect example: when Drake said, "You be rapping like you're trying to get the slaves free." Nigga, do we have slaves now? When's the last time we had actual slaves? It'd be something different if we still had Negroes on a plantation somewhere picking cotton or making Samsung phones. That'd be something totally different. But that's not what's happening. Okay, like so you can't. So y'all can get jokes about him being light skinned. You can get jokes about basically. I'm just gonna slap the worst label possible on you. But not only that, throughout the internet, you K-Dot stands, you repeat that ish over and over and over again, proving that people you do believe it. But you know what you guys also proved, and you didn't even mean to do it. Do you know what you proved? Oh man, hold on, where is my sound bites?
Your body. If you love me, let me get your body.
We need some air up in here, boy. Oh, man, I wouldn't want to open these windows, man. It's gonna be mad air in here, but it's getting hot up in here. I'm gonna try to keep going. Anyway,
because I always respected your hairline on
you
television.
know what? Hold on. Let me chop niggas with this. Real, real. Woo! Some of you niggas ain't real. What? Vocals, nigga. Niggas ain't real. But you know what you also expose yourself to, Pauls? Drake is black to you. You think I wouldn't figure it out? I figured out your game. I figured out your game. I'm already in your head. So you've admitted, if this is offensive to you, because if Drake is as white as you were trying to say, first of all, I've never known black people to say a mulatto person is white. You know what I'm saying? It's just, what? One of the major reasons in recent memory, pardon, why we can't go. Well, it's two reasons why. First and foremost, if Drake is not really a black person and a part of the culture and is devilish simply because he has non-black heritage, being half white. So basically, when your baby mother like not be like us either? Like, what are you talking about? When the mother of your children also be a culture vulture? She's also mulatto. What? I swear, I keep telling. Listen, like I said in my other video, y'all let dark skinned niggas do whatever they want. I'm sorry, dark skinned ninjas do whatever they want in the black community. Because again, the hierarchy goes: old, old black women, kids, black men. I'm sorry, kids, black men, and then within black men, dark skin, the darkest skin ninjas, and then basically you start going down the whole rungs until you wind up in my complexion. Even though, quiet as kept, I'm a superstar in the hood. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. What? Listen, bro.
Because I always respected your hairline on television.
Respect my hairline, bro. It's still there. You understand? I turned 38 this year. My hairline still. I know I got a big forehead and all that, but my hairline for the most part, I always had crooked hairline. You know what I mean? But my hairline for the most part, it's kind of been. It's still there. It's there. I exist. Also, um, with the victim narrative, right? What it will basically do is just basically put you in a perpetual state of crashing out, and you kind of bully people with your willingness to crash out. That's also a thing too. When people know that okay, you're willing to have a big argument and you're going to whine and all types of shit, they will refrain from getting into it with you to avoid that. Not really because they're afraid of you, more so because they don't want to go through the experience. That's where white folks are at with us. Okay, these people are not so much afraid of you; they more so don't want to go through that. They don't want to deal with that shit. All right. One of the reasons why like black folks think they be getting over on white folks is because or non-black people is because we'll think we're intimidating people. No, it's just more so. Excuse me. That is a waste of your time to get into a physical altercation with someone that you do not know. Snapple facts. I'll be right back. All right, we back, man. So I wanted to tell this story from a fair perspective. So I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and go do some research and find out what exactly are they talking about. So I went and put in racial slur Morgan Wallen, right? So I'm thinking that oh man, maybe he had an altercation. I'm trying to understand what was the altercation about. So he got into an altercation with some black folks and whatnot, and in the heat of the moment, he just said, "You know what, you ninja." Let's go ahead and play what we have here. Here we go.
Night out on the town in Nashville.
Hey, take care of this. Hey, Gracie, take care of this.
A neighbor was recording when Wallen said a racial slur.
When did you realize that what you had done was a big deal?
Okay, all right. So, I didn't show. So basically, this is after a night of hanging out with friends. These people are drunk. Okay, what black folks gotta understand is the N word is a part of American culture now. That people hear you use the N word all the time. Now, I don't like it. I don't like it any more than you do. Not saying I like when people who are non-black say the N-word. Not super into it. And I know I've been alternating between N-word, ninja, and nigga. But hey, listen, I'm a work in progress. Okay, hold on now.
Get up and get out of them relationships like that. You hear?
Who are these niggas? I cried right when like, we need to stay away from these niggas.
And that's what Drake is saying. So anyway, so we got to realize that they have the same internet. They hear the same music you hear. If the music they listen to is hip hop, they hear nigga all day long. So naturally, I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not saying I'm with it. I'm just saying that what do y'all expect to happen? So basically, we don't even know where was the black person he called the N-word. So I'm not gonna get into that whole interview and whatnot, basically, because this is him trying to clean up his image. But one thing I will say about how seriously white folks take this whole thing, fam, they snatched awards from that man. They stopped him from participating in, I think, whatever country music awards ceremony they had that year for that. You know what I'm saying? And so it wasn't like this situation where like, yo, old boy been wilding out. I'm thinking that he cussed somebody out. I'm thinking it's an altercation. This is basically a candid moment on camera with basically you saying some stupid shit. Sometimes people say stupid stuff, but here's the thing. I'm trying to think how do I phrase it? Because on one hand, this is based off of the thinking in the black community, which is based off of female leadership of basically changing it up on people without them understanding that you've changed the rules, or basically moving the goalposts, if you will. All right, where you at any given time can change the rules, and you at any given time can decide, no, I'm offended by that. But here's the thing: black people don't realize that way of thinking comes at a heavy cost to you, because yes, what you're doing is stopping people from being able to critique you and be honest with, because that's what that really does. Because for the most part, when the country started to, even to the point where queer people have fatigue of other queer people start being able to say, you know what? I don't really care that much for queer people. People are starting to say, you know what, this isn't really a positive thing. This doesn't really make sense. I don't actually like these things, or I don't actually like this. No, I do not think that, this boy can just say he's a girl and start playing girl sports, or this guy can say he's a woman and he should be able to just go into a woman's bathroom and just that be that. You know what I mean? Or these people walk around, but pretending to be women. You know what I mean? And leading guys on. You know what I mean? And but anywho, for the longest time, people wouldn't even. I don't even think people even talked about this out loud, just because they were in fear of being quote unquote canceled. People created the term cancel for Kanye. The first time I heard somebody was canceled was Kanye West, and this is when he was. I think he had co-signed Candace Owens, and this is back when. Because what it really started off as, this was a smear campaign created by black women. Okay, because you gotta realize that's where that thinking comes from. Where okay, so you think differently from me, then I can no longer like you because you don't think exactly how I think. That I don't think we realize how un-American that is. That was the whole. This country is founded upon the tenets of free speech and certain freedoms and liberties that we have here that are unique to this land and this land only. All right, and a part of that is freedom of speech. One time I had to tell my brother the other day, I'm like, bro, life is way tougher than a white supremacist being on social media. You basically saying that my existence is so fragile that the existence of a white supremacist on social media is a danger to me. I feel as though it's a danger to me. That means that you are a might be a pussy. I'm not saying him. I'm just saying if like to the point where you feel as though they shouldn't have a platform. Don't get me wrong. A lot of people shouldn't have a platform. But if social media is about honest expression, well, I can't even say it's about honest expression, but this country is about freedom of speech. So if you take away one person's freedom of speech, it's like taking away all our freedom of speech, because again, so what about when it happens to you? What about when you want to express something and then someone's telling you, no, you can't say that. Social media does it all the time. Well, deadass tell you what you can post. Even in the comment section, you can be saying how you really feel, and it's not because you're using a bunch of racial slurs or a bunch of curse words. It's just because it seems as though you're expressing a strong opinion, or you're disagreeing with the person who posted. This ain't no good. But the bigger takeaway in this whole thing is that. I want to share this right here. So this is Wallen. This is it right there. So that's them coming out, right? And someone made a really interesting post, and they said, it's not clocking to y'all that Drake doesn't give a F. And you know what? I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Because I think a lot of you men, I think this is also, for you black men out there, this right here is a really important lesson in standing on business, being brave, being a man, okay? Not being easily controlled. It's one thing to agree with people on something, but when you get to a point where you're easily controlled, nah, bro. A lot of you black men out there are easily controlled. And what you're being controlled into doing is living an unfulfilled life. It's so many of you who have been taught into living a life where you're not the head of your own household, you're not the king in your castle. Like, to the point where some of you don't even want to be the head of the household. You just want to play for the rest of your fucking life. And the shit is just, Shit's no good. Shit's no good. Shit's no good. But going back to these rules, right? I want to expand more on what she's saying and when she says that Drake don't give a f. For a long time, and listen, this all light skinned people go through this, right? Because a lot of times, light skinned people, a lot of times wind up being either more favored or they're more talented or whatever the case may be, and when it comes to a circle of friends, they'll find themselves being more giving. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, light skinned people kind of want to fit in, right? And that's been my experience, especially with hip hop. And what niggas gotta understand about hip hop is just accept it for what it is and who's a part of it. And nigga politics and the things that niggas think is cool is going to govern what's hot and what's not. And don't get me wrong, listen. Being a battle rapper, I had to learn, like ghetto grit and soul are the ingredients to hip hop. You don't have to be a street nigga to emulate ghetto grit and soul or perfect how you express ghetto grit and soul. That's what you gotta have in your raps. If you have those three elements, then it will always come off like hip hop. So I had to learn that, right? But at the same time, I had to realize that this isn't a culture where you're going to be encouraged and championed. For the most part, it's a culture that when they see you got to a certain point, at that point, they have to start tearing you down. At that point, they have to start disagreeing with you. At that point, they had to start saying, you've won enough. That's why people always want to see a winner fall off, do bad. You know what I'm saying? Have a bad look. All right. 50 Cent said this a long time ago. We build people at to tear them down. It's like because that's the part because we enjoy that part of the story too. But we don't necessarily say, hey, we're tearing you down. We're more so when it's time for that scandal to come about. What's so interesting about what's going on with Drake, right, is that they did these same things to Michael Jackson, where they wanted you to believe with all their heart that Michael Jackson was touching kids. But you have it, babe. I'm doing the show, babe. Have it later, okay? Later, okay? Babe, you gotta go to your room. I'm doing the show. Go to your room now. I'm almost done. Okay? All right. No train of thought. What's I want to say? Hold on, y'all. Sorry, I'm kind of jumping around and whatnot, but anywho, going back to these rules, and I feel like it's so many different things that people say, and when they say certain words, it's almost like having a shock to your dog collar. So people use words like misogynist, sexist, racist, all these instances, right? And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that it's okay to do wrong to others, right? But especially for the men in particular, you got to realize that when you make your weaknesses so readily apparent, don't you realize that you're letting people know how to get to you, how to get into your head and make you emotional? Because you don't realize there's a reason why other groups of people, I'm not saying that they're going to tolerate disrespect, but they're not willing to jump out the window right away over race, all right? But a part of that is because they're not insecure about who they are and where they come from. All right, that's why we don't really know when to actually be upset, when to be offended, or really who should be saying the N-word. You know what I mean? Because what I think is interesting is, hold on, shout out to my dog. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, my dog Kev Talks, man. He posted something really interesting. Where's that joint at, man? I just saw it. Oh, here we go. So he made a good point about, he said, love watching, hold on. Love watching all these media outlets, especially hip-hop media like Peter Rosenberg, get mad at Drake for hanging with Morgan Wallen and say it's a bad look and it proves what Kendrick said, but said nothing when he had Dr. Dre intro Not Like Us while being a PDF and abuser. Get the F out of here. Yeah, I mean, listen, you know what's crazy is the fact that, no one be talking about that. It's like Dr. Dre is known for his physically abusive relationships with his past lovers. Michelle anybody. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, they had a history of this, a lot of essay and questionable stuff in the 90s, and like, listen, that's one of the Kendrick's biggest supporters. Now I'm saying benefactors, and and got his help get his career going. But y'all cool with him. P. Rosenberg, he's admitted. First of all white boys who be around niggas be saying the N word. Matter of fact, even this Spanish dude who's on the album, this guy right here. This is the lefty dude. Let's see what he said.
Hey, I got more money than your mama, nigga. On the game, I got more money than your mama, nigga. On the game, I got more money than your mama, nigga. On the game, I got.
You feel me? You feel me? You see me? But bigger than that, shout out to industry politics. Shout out to my babe. She said this about this whole thing. She said, Drake owns streaming. Morgan owns the radio. Together, that collab isn't just number one. It's a system breaker. UMG knows it. Billboard knows it. That's why the smear campaign is happening now. Don't let the fake outrage fool you. It's not about ethics. It's about blocking Drake from tying or passing MJ and number ones. UMG still gatekeeps radio, but a Drake Morgan hit forces their hand. They can't stop it. They can't block it. Radio has to play it. And once that happens, Drake's not just the best ever. The crown is untouchable. Y'all ninjas ain't never gonna stop seeing. You can never see the big picture when you too fucking emotional. All right, and this is for the winners out there. I had a bar where I said they're gonna be scraping sauce off the floor by Salmon keep the kitchen clean. Perspective is everything. Do you want to be Drake getting $250 million or Kendrick Lamar getting skinny bell-bottom jeans? Like, really think about that shit. Do you want to be Drake getting $250 million or Kendrick Lamar shaking his ass on a football field wearing skinny bell-bottom jeans? You got to redefine what you think winning is, bro. I have to ask you, so what serves Drake more? He's a music artist. Having another crossover hit with a country music star. And now, mind you, I made this argument the whole year that he's not a part of the culture. He's not a black person. He is a culture vulture, and you have decided to revoke his black pass. Why does it matter if he's seen with Morgan Wallen? I'll take it a step further. When we can say from the situation that went on, now mind you, the clip I played earlier was from him trying to repair his image and basically doing apologetic interviews. He didn't go nowhere and double down and say, yeah, nigga, I said it. All right. That's the whole point of a freaking apology. So in y'all personal lives, y'all can make mistakes and you can screw up and you can do dumb stuff. Honestly, the situation is just stupid and embarrassing, right? But if y'all don't think that white folks call one another the N-word behind closed doors, bro, they're on TikTok too. Yes, they do this. They listen to rap, bro. I mean, I don't like it either, but yo, bro, it's happening. Just don't do it around me. I'm just saying, I don't like it. I'm good. I'm just saying.
Bullshit.
Little ninja. I see you, little crusty ninja.
That's my shit. Play that. Yeah, that shit is.
I forgot to play that shit. My bad. but don't miss the big picture. A lot of men, you ain't never gonna get nowhere in life because you missed the big picture because you're worrying about what people got to say about you, and you're not focused on your purpose. This man is a musical artist. They both do music, okay. But going back to the definition of what it means to be racist, and basically you are a racist just for saying nigga, even if you're not talking to a black person. They never specified was anyone black. I mean, it's a white dude singing country music. I guess those are his white friends. I guess that's what they do. But somehow this story turned to he called black folks the N-word with the ER. Maybe there's another story. Maybe I just didn't find it. I don't know. Because the thing was, and it's the thing too, you can convince you emotional niggas of anything because you emotional. All I have to do is just use things that trigger you. And that's what Kendrick did. Then Kendrick talked you into supporting him on giving you his worst album so far. That GNX album is so ass. It's so slapped together and really the reason why I don't like the album also is because it's him trying to prove he can make sexy music. It's him trying to prove he can make light skin music. Kendrick, you can't make light skin music. All right, I'm just testing out this new mic. Pause. I'm out of here. You know what?
You supposed to keep that?
Now, well,
Put them back in the water.
first of all, shut up, mind your business.
You know what I'm saying? But before I go,
I don't even understand how the fuck my mug talk. Pick him up in his face, I don't let my fuck walk. Skirt, pull up in his face. New freak, had to cut my other little bitch off.
hey,
50K, you could come and make a cracker for a plug walk. Big ol' Bentley, it's a spaceship. Call me on my phone, I don't say shit. I make money when I talk. I'm a boss, take a lot. Plug walk.
Get out of here, Levi. We out.